Hey y'all, it's Nancy the Handy Scandy. Welcome back for another crafty venture. Welcome to Saturday Morning Makes. This is my 9th episode, if you will, and today we're going to talk about these sweet little Easter Bunny rosettes. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Saturday Morning Makes. First, I want to apologize for my sniffly nose. It is time of the great pollination here in North Carolina, and it affects me in this way. Second, I want to apologize for not getting this up on Saturday. I was not feeling well yesterday, Saturday, April 1st, and tried filming this 3 times, and each time my camera quit and I didn't know it. So after that 3rd time, I had to walk away. So here I am again this morning. So let me just jump right in. Saturday Morning Makes is the brainchild of the lovely Jillian Norwood of Greenwood Girl Cards. I will link to her downstairs. Use the hashtag SatMornMakes, all one word, hashtag SatMornMakes. It should be on the screen. And it also looks like this, hashtag SatMornMakes. I apologize, my handwriting isn't any better than it is. And you use that hashtag and it will populate everything that has been posted for this project, if you will, and you can see all the beautiful inspiration and what all of our other lovely crafters are up to. So I have made these lovely little rosette sticks, if you will, and I'm going to show you the products that I use, and then we'll jump into how I did it. So I started with this sweet set from Honeybee. It is called Honey Bunnies. I can't remember what year it is from. It's a couple years old at least. Anyway, it's a couple years old. I do not have the dies. I believe there were dies that come with it, but I did not get it. But I absolutely love it. So these two go with that one. Obviously, this is that guy. This one, those two. And then this chartreuse guy is right there. So all of those, I couldn't decide which ones I wanted to use. And then any of my die cutting, you can see this scallop circle, stitch scallop circle. On all of them were this die set from Whimsy. It is a stitch scallop circle frames, and they're different sizes, 4 different sizes. And the circle cuts independent from the scallop frame. So I mixed and matched on at least one, just one, I guess. But yeah, you can do that. So there's that. I have these sweet little doilies that I put on the back of each one to not only finish it off, but also to clean up the back because it was a mess. So these doilies are Miss Sparkle and Company, which is Joanne's line. And the sticks are these kebab skewers from, I think, our local grocery store, which is Food Lion. They might be from Walmart, but I feel like they're from Food Lion. But they have been in my kitchen forever, so I moved them to the craft room. And I stamped my images in my Versafine, excuse me, Onyx black. And one of the things that I did wrong was I started coloring with my Olo markers before the ink was cured. So I have a couple smudges, and I had to let them dry and come back and try to work it out. And there are a couple places where you can still see the smudges. But as I said, I colored with my Olos. And I used a little bit of the Nuvo Crystal Glaze on the ears and the eyes and the hearts, and this guy's wings. I don't know if you can see that shine, and also on their bunny tails. And then finally, the lace and the ribbons are just from my stash. The twine is just from my stash, and the laces are also from my stash. But I know that we particularly like laces. These two are my favorite in the white, and then this one. So this one is my absolute favorite in the white, and then this is my favorite in the cream or the ecru. They're very similar, but not identical. I really like the smaller ones. There's just something about them. They're very dainty. Got this from Amazon. If I can link to it, if I can find it, I will link to it. It is not an affiliate. I don't have an Amazon store, so no worries about that. Everything else, if I can find it, I will link it downstairs, and I will use affiliate links if at all possible. An affiliate simply means that if you purchase by using those links, I may, not always, but may earn a little bit of commission that goes straight back into my channel. So you would be helping and supporting me in that way. But there's never any obligation, nothing like that. But let's jump into these cuties. So I have them stored. It's a candle holder slash vase from the Christmas tree shops. It's filthy, so I need to clean it. But I also stuffed it with paper towels. That way, because the sticks, you know, even the longest ones, which I didn't think about what I was going to store them in, they're long enough to go to the bottom, but I didn't use them. But anyway, so the paper towel just gives a little something for them to be able to stand up on. So I'll show you that when we're done. Show you a picture of it anyway. Let me find a place for it. Oh, sorry. Let me check my camera, make sure it's still running. Yay, we're good. Okay, so I'm going to set these aside and I'll talk about them one by one. So my Olo marker collection is relatively small and I do not have a large selection of yellows. And so when I colored him yellow initially, it was this bright, like lemon chiffon. Maybe chiffon's not the right word. Anyway, super bright yellow. And I didn't have any other yellows to coordinate with it. So I went the green route because I have lots of yellow greens or green yellows. And so this is what we ended up with. And I'm still not entirely pleased with the darker, with the shadows and how they turned out. They just don't blend very well. But it's okay. It is what it is. And he is quickly becoming one of my favorites. This guy is my ultimate favorite, but we'll save that for later. But I made these sweet little rosettes, and I will come back with another video on how I did that. That'll just be the rosettes. But I just have, this is what my scraps look like. This is all my greens. And then of course I have oranges, and I have browns, and I have blues, and I have the whole rainbow. And I have a bunch of neutrals, a bunch of black and white. But I took them and I cut them in about 1.5 inch strips that were 6 inches long, and then I folded them. So I used my scoreboard and I scored at 1/4 inch. Larger intervals in between your scores will make a larger rosette. But again, I'll come back with another video. I just wanted to show you that you don't have to use a scoreboard if you don't have it. I did do this by hand, and it's possible, and I've made a million rosettes by hand without using anything to score it. But you're just kind of at the mercy of the fibers in the paper. I would not recommend 110 pound for that because it's kind of hard to fold back and forth. But with the scoreboard, much easier. So, all right. So use my scraps to do that, to make that little rosette. And then of course I cut out the circle and the scallop frame from the white and the green, as well as from the pattern paper. So I did this green because I wanted to just pull out that kind of chartreuse green, and then I have this ribbon in my stash, and I thought that it coordinated really well, and so that's just kind of how that went. And then this pattern paper has the greens and the yellows that I wanted to pull out, but this doesn't necessarily go with that, and that's why I used the white frame to create some separation so that this wasn't sandwiched by the pattern paper. And then I've used just a small white circle just to kind of set him off from the rosette. But you don't have to do that. And by the way, you can use any shape. Like I have some old ones that have stars in them. I have some with buttons. I have some with little figures. It just depends. Rosettes are super fun, super easy, and a great way to add a lot of interest and kind of pizzazz, if you will, to your decorating and your card making. So that's him. Oh, let me tell you, I use my hot glue gun. I don't think I told you all that. It's my hot glue gun. I love this hot glue gun. It's from Xyron. I got it from scrapbook.com. I'll link to it. But the backs of these were a hot mess. I wish I could. I don't know if you can even see that. A hot mess. So I used my glue gun, put a bead of glue down the middle, laid my stick in it, let it cure, and then I just put some more hot glue, and then I laid the doily. And not only does that finish off the front, because that's where it would have stopped, which is fine, but I think that just gives it another layer of cute. And then of course it cleans up the back. And I added the ribbons and the button. Now you can see here, see where that's cut off? I didn't have quite enough of this pattern paper to make that cut, but I didn't let that stop me, because really, unless you're looking at it, you don't know. So I'm sure some of you saw it. I'm sure some of you didn't know until I pointed it out. So don't throw those things away just because they don't die cut out right, because you can always layer them or hide them in some way or use them in a way different than what you had intended. So this one is very similar to this one, but it just has maybe more layers. I'm not sure, but I colored these guys with the Olo markers as well. But this was the first one that I tried to color, and my ink wasn't cured yet. You can see here that it kind of smudged a little, the ink did. See how the black is like, I don't know, smudgy. And then there's this little blurb and those two little blurbs. I don't know if blurb is the right word. But anyway, it's smeared because the ink wasn't cured yet. So I had blotted on it, and I thought that it was going to be good because no more ink was coming up when I blotted, but it was not cured. So I used my the zero marker, which is like a colorless blender, which doesn't blend, but it just kind of moves ink around. And so I was trying to lift it, and it worked to some degree because they were much darker, but you know, it is what it is. So I went ahead and finished coloring them. I did set them aside. I set all of them aside to finish curing before I came back, and just did the pink or the blue and the green. And I think that they're super sweet, super soft and minty. And then I have this layer of the circles and the frames. And I actually have two. My paper was really thin. It was like, I don't know if it's 60, 65 pound white cardstock, but yeah, it's really thin, and I had two, and I didn't know, so I have two layers. But that doesn't make me mad. Things like that just don't make me mad. It's okay. And this side, the die cutting just kind of stuck them together. That's why I didn't know that I had two layers. But this side has worked its way apart. So anyway, bunnies, circle, frame, rosette. Now I am sad that we don't get to see a lot of this rosette because it's really pretty. It's this pattern paper. I believe it was from, well, I bought it from Joann's. I don't remember the brand name, but I think it was called Paper Posies or Pretty Posies, something like that. And it's just really pretty. I'm just sad that we didn't get to see more of it, because it really has, you know, it has this kind of sky blue, but it also has this kind of minty blue and the minty green in there too. But anyway, it is what it is. And then another circle with the frame, and then another doily. As you can see, cleaned it up really nicely in the back, and then the lace and just a little ribbon from my stash. This one, as I said, is my favorite because I just love coral. The red, orange, yellow family, I've said before, that's just my wheelhouse. Love, love, love it. Let me, sorry, get my nose before it runs away with me. So this one is just a little bit simpler. It has the bunny, which I mentioned that I have all the crystal glaze on, and I gave him some little green eyes, and I did use my white gel pen to go around all of them pretty much in different ways. It's very subtle, you can't see it on all of them, but the bunny, and then the circle, the rosette, another circle with the frame. Now you see I didn't use the frame here, and I didn't use the frame on this one, but then again I closed it up or finished it off with the rosette or with the doily, and then some ribbon and lace and a button from my stash. Very cute, very sweet. Now this one is one of my favorites. I guess they all are my favorite in a different way, but that's not uncommon for me. I love this neutral palette. I love neutrals. So yeah, so I wanted him to look kind of like a chocolate bunny, and this one to be, I don't know, I just started coloring with some of my corally peaches and brownies, and I thought it was really cute. So he does feel like a chocolate bunny a little bit to me. So I brought in the browns, and then the neutral or the natural doily, and again thought it was just super sweet. But I did not put a rosette on this one. So you know, you don't have to have rosettes. You don't have to make rosettes. You don't have to use rosettes if you don't know how or don't want to learn how. I can tell you they're very easy, and like I said, I'll be back with a video. But sometimes it's just too much. Sometimes you don't want to use that, and it's okay. You don't have to, because that's just as cute without the rosette. I think it's super cute. I probably should have put a little pink heart coming up from them, or maybe in their hand, or I don't know, maybe on their butts. I don't know. What do you think? But those are my sweet little Easter bunny rosettes. And I guess today is Easter, so let me tell you all happy Easter. I didn't even think about that as I started filming, But thank you for spending a little bit of time with me. And remember, use the hashtag SapMornMakes, and you can hop along and see all the wonders that everyone else has to share. And there's so many amazing artists and so many amazing friends out there. You just want to hop along. And if you'd like to join us next week, just put something up on Saturday, something that you've made either that day or over the week, or that you just want to share. And it can be anything. It does not have to be cards, does not have to be paper crafts, whatever. And I would encourage you to hop over to Jillian Norwood's channel, and she can give you more details about how it started and kind of what her thought process was when she came up with this sweet brainchild.
Here's just another quick look at these little cuties. The photography is not the best. It was just kind of down and dirty. I wanted to get them up here so you could see. But yeah, that's how I have it stored in that little vase. I got to get it cleaned up. But again, guys, thank you so much for spending time with me. If you're new, welcome. If you're not new, welcome. I love you all. Thank you so much. This has been Nancy, the Handy Scandy. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment. And until next time, mwah, I'm out.